So, this happened tonight at work and everyone is pretty shaken up over it, as I think some next level horror movie shit happened this evening. Some background info. I'm in nursing school and work part-time on the weekends at a retail store, home decor, furniture, and whatnot. We have about 20 employees, only 3 of them are men. Most customers don't realize we have 3 men that work at the store. We constantly hear y'all need to hire some men to help move that furniture around. Tonight, me, female, another associate, female, a manager, female, and our stockroom/maintenance guy, who doesn't leave the stockroom, were working the closing shift. We were scheduled to close at 9 p.m., but shut the store down just before 8 because of this incident. The other associate and I are in the register area, straightening things up before close, and shooting the shit because there are no customers in the store. The last customers that came had left about 45 minutes prior to this time. The phone rings. My coworker answers the phone, puts the phone on hold, and calls out for the manager. The caller wants to speak to a manager. Our manager comes up, answers the phone, and gets a weird look on her face. My boss is a badass of a woman who doesn't get shaken up easily. I've watched a customer get to 2 inches from her face, call her a fucking cunt, and watched her throw her head back and laugh before telling the customer to get out. So seeing her with this strange look, my coworker and I stop and listen. She puts the caller on hold, points to me, and says come to the office with me, in a quick, nervous tone. As we're walking to the office, she tells me that the caller is a man, says he's from corporate, there's been an incident, told her to go in the manager's office to talk on the phone, but she feels like something isn't right and she wants someone to listen to the call, like a witness. Now, our manager's office is inside of our stockroom. Our stockroom is entirely concrete and stacked with merchandise. There are no windows in the stockroom or manager's office. My coworker is on the sales floor continuing to work. Our stock guy is in the stockroom putting furniture together outside the office door, and my boss and I are in the office with the door open. She takes the guy off hold and put the phone on speaker. This is how the conversation went. Hello, I'm calling from corporate. There's been an incident at another store with an irate customer. I need you to speak to him, but don't make him mad. The call is quiet for a few seconds. Then, what sounds like the same man from corporate comes back on, obviously pretending to be someone else. What's your name? My boss says her first name. What's your last name? She gives the first letter of her last name. How old are you? My boss, who is this? I'd like to speak to the man from corporate. Do you know what I do to people who make me fucking mad? My boss and I stare at each other. She quietly stands up from her chair. The minute she stands up, mind you she stood up quietly and slowly, the caller says, "Why are you standing up?" My boss quietly picks up a permanent marker and throws it through the doorway at our stock guy to try and get his attention. The second she throws the marker, the caller says, "Why are you trying to get his attention?" The stockroom has no windows. The only way the caller could have seen my boss stand up and throw the marker was if he was in the stockroom, or watching the stockroom/office security cameras. My boss slammed the phone down. We must have had some sort of unspoken, immediate understanding, because we both bolted out of the office, out of the stockroom, and onto the sales floor. We ripped the front doors shut, locked them, yelled at the other associate to get in the office, now. We slid a couch in front of the doors and bolted back to the office. Me, my boss, the other associate, and our stock guy ran into the office, slammed the door, and locked it. I grabbed a phone and called 911. My boss, who has a license to carry, pulls a fucking 9mm handgun out of her purse and stands next to the office door while I'm talking to the dispatcher. The police are there beating on the front doors in about 5 minutes. We can see this on the security camera TV feed in the office, so my boss grabs her ID and gun license out of her wallet, opens the door, we shut it and lock it behind her, watch her on the security cameras walking through the store, and lets the police in. 3 cops search the entire store, bathrooms, register, walls, break room, office, and stockroom. They even climb up onto the merchandise shelves that go up to the ceiling and search. They have 2 patrol cars drive through the shopping plaza, front and back. They even check our dumpsters. They don't find anyone suspicious inside or out. We called corporate and relayed the story on speaker with the police. No one from corporate called us. There was no incident at another store. They insist that it was a prank call, until they hear the "why are you standing? Why are you trying to get his attention?" part. The police and us at the store insist that someone has hacked the security cameras. We have Wi-Fi that is password protected. We don't know the password. Maybe they used that. We don't know, but the only way the caller could have seen my boss stand up from the chair and toss a marker at our stock guy is if they were in the stockroom or watching the security camera live feed. They insist that's impossible. So, tech people, what's your 2 cents in this security camera business? All others, what's your input? Caller, let's not meet. Update, y'all are the real MVPs. I'm not too savvy with Reddit in the least bit, but I know there's a lot of good folks on here with some serious mind power and great advice. I didn't think I'd get nearly the amount of responses on this post as I have, let alone long responses with great detail. So thank you to everyone. This is so cool to see and I'm officially sold on Reddit. Additional info/addressing things. 1 person is required to stay in the store at all times, as there's been issues with theft, especially now around the holidays. So that's why 1 person stayed out. We're just used to it at this point. Not a good idea, in retrospect, but it happened. I originally wrote off the whole remote camera idea, but anyone can walk in there. The only deterrent is the generic employees only sign. No locks, nothing. With that, the spook factor deepens. Of course the caller wasn't there. I only hammered that point to make it clear that there was only one way the caller could have known what was happening, the moment it happened. I highly doubt it was a coworker playing a prank. Most of my coworkers are retired seniors that struggle with technology. I've even given up on training them how to use the cash register. How do I price check? Touch this button, scan the tag. Mind blown. I doubt that hacking security cameras is on their hobby lists. That being said, don't underestimate the elderly. I work with an 86-year-old woman who can convince you to buy $2,000 worth of useless shit in 30 minutes flat, something I could never accomplish. She's a hell of a saleswoman. She also bakes a mean batch of coconut chocolate chip cookies. Stock guy? In his 70s. Doesn't even own a cell phone. The sweetest guy ever. We all melt a little when he comes in smiling, singing Christmas songs, with his little lunch bag. Earlier that day, a meme of a customer came in. Mid-20s, pinstriped fedora, little mustache, can of Monster, Magic the Gathering shirt. I'm dead serious, a real LAN party type. No offense to anyone. I once got roped into going to a D&D tournament at a LAN place called Gamerts that ended up with people getting arrested. Got too wild. The mystery further deepens.